Hey! We're just broadcasting live. It's Sholto, first here for Digital First. We just finished the xerocon keynote there, hearing some fantastic words there from Chris Reid, is an Australian MD, and also Rod Drury, CEO of Xero. And the big question I had beforehand was what is happening around the financial services. And we found out that actually they've moved quite a distance away from how it was presented last year. With the CGU demonstration, where it was a financial institution sending an email to their to Xero customers who would then opt in for, say, insurance packages or to premiums and that kind of thing. This year, it's definitely going to be more of a pool type arrangement. So Xero are working on putting a button inside the program, so that if you are running short of cash, you need to make payroll, then you can press that button and your bank will it will then send information to your bank and you can get a quote that way. And it sounds like the banks are the ones who need to get their systems up to date to be able to offer this. The first one off the rank is going to be NAB. We had one of the senior guys here today on stage, can't remember his name, and he was talking about he was talking about this thing that when you press the button, it will bundle up the P&L, balance sheet, a couple other financial bits and pieces, and then NAB will be able to come back and give you an idea of what they can afford to loan you. And Rod Drury talked at length about the fact that the volume of financial information that Xero has, it can actually price risk extremely well, and much better than the banks, because they've got a real-time view of the data, but also they can get electronic sources for the data. So that's important, because they want to get away from this manual production of financial accounts towards an automated one, where they can say, people haven't actually fiddled with these numbers, these are legit, these are the custom numbers, these are supplier numbers, and this is the actual financial position of the company. So, and Xero's taking this concept to another level with this thing called the assurance dashboard, and this is to provide confidence in what the numbers are in Xero. We saw 3 screenshots. The first one was a list of all the people, the users who had had access to that Xero file over the past year, I think it was, and a little heat map showing exactly when they had accessed the program, so you could drill in and look at that audit trail. Another screen shows a list of all the bank transactions that have been added or deleted, who deleted it, when they deleted it. So the idea, Rod talked about getting away from audit as something that small business has to pay for, towards something that is more automated. I think he would have loved to have called it the audit dashboard, but didn't quite have the confidence to do that. So it's the assurance dashboard, and this is obviously going to be a new marketing line for Xero. They want it to be the most financially rigorous. I can't quite remember what the term was, but clearly it's going to be around, if you're with Xero, then you can have greater confidence in your numbers than if you're with a rival package. So that was a really interesting development. To be honest, there were a whole lot of ideas in that presentation. It's actually difficult to keep track of them all. For example, Xero's committing a lot to education. We saw that they're doing this thing called Grow Your Practice with bookkeepers. I think they've done it with 350 bookkeepers, and it's about how to maximise the use of Xero, and they've claimed to have increased the average revenue for all those bookkeepers by 37%. Rod, of course, wants to get it to 100%. Yeah, the Xero machine is definitely on the move. There's a lot happening. One of the other highlights there is around the global expansion. So they talked about channels. They're doing this deal with Officeworks, where you can buy like a 12-month subscription over the counter. Interesting concept for cloud software. They also some deal with Google AdWords, where Google will be recommending it for companies using AdWords. They're working with Apple, the Apple Store. They're probably going to see some promotion of Xero through there. And also they're working with Apple on the and Google on an integration front. And that was another really interesting outcome. Xero seems to be picking horses a little bit. So for example, they talked about integrating Gmail into Xero so that you can track all the emails to and from a customer for, say, quoting and invoicing or collecting on invoices. And then also talked about integrations with iOS 8 and how they're working very closely with Apple. So obviously Microsoft was not mentioned at all, which is really unusual given that Roger has a very long relationship with Microsoft, as does Chris Ridd, worked 15 years for the company. So yeah, that was, it seems like their alliances are forming. There's many more of them. I'm going to have to go back through my tweets and provide a bit more wrap up, but they're my initial thoughts. Everyone's just emptied out, and there's a couple more things happening this afternoon that I think will be definitely worth following up on. One is around the practice management stuff, so Laura Cardinal will be talking about where that reinvention of Xero Practice Manager is going. This My Xero, which is the green dashboard for accountants, bookkeepers, that is getting its airing. It's in beta, so looking forward to seeing what that does around the automation of practices. And Ben Stiles, who's this new guy on their financial services division. He's heading up financial services and their partnerships around there. He's also going to be talking about that in more detail, so the NAB stuff and other integrations. So look, Xero definitely still pushing the envelope here in terms of this financial web concept, and some interesting product developments on the way too. Anyway, if you have any questions you want me to ask, I'm going to be around a lot of the executive today. If you want me to put something to them in some of the detailed sessions as well, happy to do that. Just tweet it to me at SholtoMac or at digital_1st first. And yeah, happy to help.